some enabling technologies that try to address social innovation, cultural initiatives, and developing of new services, advanced services. And of course, for doing that, we have to imagine some sort of interaction between the cyber part and the physical part. So this is why it's everything related to IoT. So to understand the scenario, just some recap about what a smart city is, what is the process that usually is being adopted. So we have global urbanization trends that says that a huge amount of people are moving from the countryside into the city. And this is well known, completely accepted, these data are validated, and we are in a situation where by 2020, so in the next years, we will have a huge increase of the population in the city. There are some numbers like 40 billion square meters in China in the city, also in Hefei, a small city in China, small city, 1.5 million of people, and 500,000 just arrived in the last 4 years from the countryside. They built completely from scratch an entire part of the city with skyscrapers, streets, bridge, everything. So these phenomena are there. We have to try to control these phenomena somehow. So the challenges are related with the livability to create more comfortable conditions for people to live in this environment, in the city. This means sustainability, means resiliency, the capability to adapt to events that may suddenly appear in your environment. We want to engage people because for us the city is a lab, is a place where you receive services, but you may also contribute to the creation, to the development of new services, and of course create better conditions of living. So we discuss about smart city, and nowadays, according to me, smart is related with connectivity. While till some years ago, it was more focused on the concept of computation. Smart if I was able to do lots of computation. Nowadays, the connectivity, I think, is the predominant word that we have to consider, because the idea and the reality is that we are all connected with our mobile phone. In average, we dedicate 3 hours per day using the mobile phone, sometimes 4 hours per day, each of us. But now we have also the opportunity to have lots of objects connected all around, objects distributed in the city, physical objects, maybe cars, people themselves, maybe stations, devices, sensors and actuators in the numbers of 10,000, maybe more. So all these things are connected, and we want to pilot, we want to control, we want to receive the data, we want to elaborate this data, because then we can imagine new strategies to improve the life in our city. So smart city, we have lots of definitions, okay? In general, they are considered to be a complex environment, a huge environment where there are lots of these devices, lots of these objects, and in general, some keywords are related with sustainability, people that lives there, application related to mobility, transport, energy, and infrastructure management, governance, and of course safety. These are all the big words around the concept of smart city. So you already understand that a smart city is a sort of living lab where many different kinds of services and applications apparently belonging to separate and different areas live. And usually a smart city is considered to be a large project, a big, complex environment, very difficult to manage. Like smart city is also difficult by definition. And there are some forecasts that say that in the near future, about 80, 90 big smart cities will be available all over the world. City where we have 10, 20 million of people living there. So you can imagine the complexity behind all of this. So this is what is normally accepted. But I want to make a sort of parallelism with something that happened about 40, 50 years ago. by people, very bright, that really changed our life. But for example, Thomas Watson was just saying in 1943 that maybe overall no more than 4 or 5 big computers in the world. So he was imagining he had this vision of big, enormous data centers. So the problem was there, managing such a big complexity. But he was not alone. Another one, Ken Olsen, that created Digital Equipment Corporation, another extremely important and famous company. And he was saying that there is no reason why anyone wants a computer in his home. So, okay, so the concept of personal computers was completely not there. They were not able to imagine that what was going to happen about 5 years after. So for us now is absolutely normal that we have a computer at home, we have a computer in the office, we have the mobile phone with us, maybe more than once, and we are always connected. So those forecasts, I think, were wrong. At the same time, there were some other group of people that were investing and devoting their intelligence and their time in doing things on their own. So, for example, there was this device, Altair 8880, that was a kind of homemade, I cannot say computer, but electronic device that was able to run some very elementary code, and there were some lights, some LED, and these things was also combined with a simple AM radio, so that the sound was somehow transformed in electronic sound. So a sort of iPad, maybe 40 years ago.